Thank you for listening to GCN. Be sure to visit GCNlive.com today.
Okay, we've been spending a lot of time talking about fats and fatty vitamins and fatty hormones, and particularly the omega fatty acids. There's two of these, omega fats. Two of these that are considered essential, I should say. Although some people will tell you there's three. There are only two. They're called ALA, which is an omega-6, and LA, which is an omega-3. That's it. Only two. ALA, omega-6, found in flax seeds. Primarily, that's the main nutritional source for it. It's found in lots of different seeds. It's basically a seed oil, ALA. And then, and grains, by the way, count as a seed. And grains are a source of ALA. And then there's LA, omega-3s, which are also found. I'm sorry, I said flax seeds are a source of LA, not ALA. I apologize for that. ALA is omega-6, and that's not flaxseed based. LA is omega-3s. If you prefer, you can call them alpha-linolenic acid or linoleic acid. Those are the technical names. The point I want to make here is the third one that you hear a lot about. It's not an essential fatty acid, the third omega that you hear about, omega-9. Omega-6s, found in grains. Omega-3s, found in flax and chia and hemp seed, for that matter. Those are essential. You need them in your diet. Your body cannot make them. Omega-9s don't count as an essential fatty acid, oleic acid. I'm not saying it's not important, though. It is important. It's very important, actually, but it's not essential. These things, these omegas, are so important, whether they're omega-6s and 3s, which are essential, or omega-9s, which are not essential. They're still important, essential or not essential. They're still important. That's because of the omega. That word omega is very meaningful. Omega means a double bond. Now, I don't want to get into too much chemistry here, but it's kind of interesting and also very important if we're going to know how to use these things. When you hear the omega, when you hear the word omega, what you're hearing is a double bond, and that means electricity. That means energy. Omegas are highly electrical substances, and this is what accounts for their unbelievably powerful and important nature. This is why they're found, the body will put them into the outside part of a cell. So the outside part of a cell becomes super electrical. A cell in general is a little battery. It's got a polarity. Conducts an electrical charge from the outside to the inside. It's like a little battery. And this battery power is largely accomplished via the action of the omegas. Omegas store electrical energy. They got a double bond, and that's really important. And I don't want to get into too much organic chemistry or biochemistry, but it's just really cool. Double bonds are like magnets. In fact, all bonds are like magnets. That's what a bond is. If you've ever played with magnets when you're a kid, or an adult for that matter, you can get a good sense of how chemistry works. It's all about magnets. In fact, I didn't even understand organic chemistry. I remember when I first took organic chemistry, when I first went to pharmacy school, I had to take organic chemistry to get into pharmacy school, and I didn't know what the heck was going on. I couldn't understand it. It was just gibberish to me, and I would study, and I would study, and I would study. I'd stay up all night studying, and I'd end up almost always with the lowest grade in the class. And I thought I was a smart guy, and I just couldn't figure out organic chemistry. I actually had to drop the course because I was going to fail it miserably. Not just fail it, but fail it miserably. And I had to drop the course, and I didn't know what I was going to do because I wanted to go to pharmacy school, and I had to take organic chemistry to get into pharmacy school. And not only did I fail it, I didn't even begin to understand it until I took it the second time, and all of a sudden it hit me. It's all about magnets. And from that point forward, not only did I ace organic chemistry, but I understood chemistry inside and out. And I could predict things, and I could figure things out. And that was my specialty in pharmacy school, was chemistry, was medicinal chemistry. Because I got that it was all about magnets. That's all it is, folks. If you've ever played with magnets and kind of got a sense for how the things go together or don't go together, you can understand chemistry. Most of us have seen these little pictures of chemical structures with all the various lines connecting all the various atoms. Well, each one of those lines that you see connecting all the various atoms in those line drawings that look just like little stick figures of sorts, each one of those lines is a magnet. Each one of those lines is called a bond, but it's really a magnet. And you could think of those magnets or those bonds as being the ultimate basis of all living things. Everything that lives is dependent on these magnets or these bonds. And by the way, nobody knows how these things go together. We know that they're there, but how exactly they go together, nobody knows. That's one of the fundamental mysteries of physics and biology and science, is how these things stick together. So we'll leave that as just a given because we don't know how it happens. They call that the electromagnetic force, and they just call it a force because they don't know what it is. They might as well call it a thing or something or stuff, because nobody knows exactly what it is. It's one of the great unknowns of science. But luckily for us, it does occur. That's why we're here, because this electromagnetic bond occurs. So you can think of everything from a bacteria to a fungus to a plant to a tree to an animal to a human being. Everything that's alive as being nothing more than a compilation of gazillions, countless, there's no number to come up with, of these infinitesimally small magnetic bonds that are connected via this force. And you can think of vitamins and fats and carbs and proteins and everything we know as nutrition as a bunch of complex magnets with all of these little magnetic connections. We'll finish up when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back after this.
Serious investors and traders want to make 81% return in 60 seconds? Use the same secret algorithm professional hedge fund managers use to make billions of dollars of profits. Turn $250 into $4,903 in just 7 clicks of a mouse. Our tool is so simple that my 82-year-old grandmother can use it to make insane stock market profits. Go to BigBuckRiches.com. Watch the free video before the hedge funds make us take it down. Go to BigBuckRiches.com. From the Robert Allen System, current returns not indicative of future results.
And Fuchs is a registered pharmacist who understands how important the B complex of vitamins is for maintaining a healthy heart. That's why he drinks Pollen Burst from Youngevity's complete line of nutritional supplements.
Pollen Burst has got the B vitamins in there, and the B vitamins are so fascinating because most people are going to be deficient in the B vitamins because they're rapidly processed out of food. And the B vitamins work on the brain, the heart, the skin, and the digestive system. When it comes to heart disease, we got 600,000 people in this country who die of heart disease every year. Some 64 million Americans have some form of heart disease. The B vitamins, a nickel's worth of B vitamins every day, is the most powerful nutritional way to protect yourself from heart disease.
To feed your heart the nutrients it needs for good health, order Youngevity's Pollen Burst by calling 866-735-2470. That's 866-735-2470. Or on the web at brightsideben.com. That's brightsideben.com.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Nowadays, there are millions of people with old smartphones, iPads, tablets, you name it, just sitting around collecting dust. And if those are improperly disposed of, well, they contain unsafe toxic materials harmful to you and the environment. But now, these devices can be used as a painless way to help support your favorite GCN shows. Visit donatemycell.com. Donations are tax deductible, and if you donate 10 or more devices, you'll receive a special free gift offer. That's donatemycell.com. Donatemycell.com.
Okay, so the whole thing is all of chemistry, all of nutrition, all of vitamins, all of carbs are all about connections. It's kind of cool when you think about it. It's all about relationships, connections. Chemistry is all about connections. That's what chemistry is, really. It's all about relationships and connections, how things are related to each other. When two people get along, we say they have chemistry. That's what chemistry is. Chemistry is how things get together. And if you understand chemistry, you can understand a lot of stuff. Because really, life is chemistry. Life is about how things connect, how things relate to each other. Life is relationships, all of life. We wouldn't have life if little atoms didn't somehow relate to each other. They didn't connect to each other. One of the ways they connect is through this bonding, which is part of some mysterious thing called the electromagnetic force. Nobody knows what that is, but it's basically just bonding, those little lines that you see in your little line drawings in organic chemistry, just little magnetic connections. If you can understand magnets, how magnets go together, you can understand chemistry. Magnets, if you hit them, if you touch them just right, they'll connect. And that connection is a bond, that magnetic connection. And by the way, if you pull that bond apart with your hands, two magnets, imagine holding two magnets together and you pull that bond apart, you can almost feel a kind of energy between those two magnets. That's the energy of life. That energy that you feel, that kind of, it's hard to explain what it is, and even scientists can't explain what it is, that force that you feel when you rip apart two magnets that are connected to each other, folks, that's life. That's the energy of life. And the reason why taking in nutrition is so important is because you're taking in all of that energy, whether it's in the form of proteins or fats or carbohydrates or vitamins or fats. And the minerals are a little bit different. I'm going to leave that aside for now. But fats contain super amounts of this electrical force, super amounts of this electrical energy, and they actually contain this electrical energy in three different strengths. The fats, the essential fats or the nutritional fats or the dietary fats, I should say, contain special kinds of connections that are extra strength connections. In biology and in nutrition, these bonds come in three strengths, like scoops of ice cream. Single scoops, double scoops, triple scoops, except we call them single bonds, double bonds, and triple bonds. And you can think of a double bond as having extra energy than a single bond. And this is what makes the omegas important. In fact, if you hear the word omega, might as well substitute in your brain double bond. An omega is a double bond. And a fat with a double bond is extra, extra, extra important. The vast majority of stuff in the body is a single scoop or single bond. Rarely you'll find triple scoops, hardly ever. Cyanide is an example of a triple scoop. Carbon monoxide is a triple scoop. They don't happen very much. The most interesting magnetic connections are the double scoops, the double bonds. And in the world of fats, those are the omegas. An omega fat is a fat that has at least one double scoop or double bond. And this high energy, this high electricity is what makes these things so important. Omega-9s, oleic acid particularly, which we hear about all the time in the world of nutrition, it's not essential, but it's important. It's not essential because the body can make it, but it's important. When you hear the word unsaturated, that's referring to a double bond. An unsaturated bond is a double bond. So unsaturated equals double bond equals omega. Unsaturated oils are all important. They all are. And oleic acid is an unsaturated oil. It's got one double bond. That's why they say it's mono-unsaturated. And it gets its name because it was first found in olive oil. Oleic acid, the term oleic acid comes from the word olive. Oleic comes from the word olive. And it's one of the richest sources. Olive oil is one of the richest sources of this stuff. It's mono-unsaturated. You'll hear that term all the time in the world of fats and in the world of nutrition. Mono-unsaturated only has one omega, one double bond. In addition to olive oil, which is the major source of oleic acid, you'll find it in sunflower, safflower oils, nut oils, peanut oils, macadamia nut oils, all contain oleic acid. It's also found in lard, interestingly. Unlike the other omega oils, you can get oleic acid from lard. And these days, oleic acid has been touted for various health benefits, particularly when it comes to the heart, cardiovascular health benefits. You'll actually see sunflower oil advertised as high oleic content. They're kind of promoting the fact that they have oleic acid in there. Oleic acid, as I say, has some pretty important health benefits. Mono-unsaturated fats. You'll hear them called mono-unsaturated fats. They're particularly important for lowering cholesterol levels, lowering blood fats. They're important for the brain. They're important for blood pressure. They may even have an appetite suppressant effect. Well, that's the latest literature. Oleic acid, interestingly, is a key component of pheromones. Pheromones, especially the ones that are emitted from insects. When insects die, they will actually secrete their bodies, their corpses, the dead bodies of insects will secrete oleic acid, which tells other insects, you better stay away. How cool is that? Insects will talk to other insects when they're dead via their pheromones, via their oleic acid. In fact, scientists are looking to oleic acid as a cockroach repellent, or as an insecticide, or not insecticide, but an insect repellent to keep bugs away from crops. They call it the death stench. This is what scientists call the smell, the death stench. They call the smell of the oleic acid pheromone the death stench. In a study that was published in the Journal of Evolutionary Biology, they said that they're looking to use the death stench for repelling pests from homes or food storage areas because the effect is so strong, and because it applies to all kinds of species of insects. Pretty much all insects are responsive to this death stench, and it's non-toxic. It's a non-toxic insect repellent, oleic acid. Skincare products use oleic acid a lot because oleic acid has a skin softening property. Now, oleic acid also has a lot of problems. There's a lot of problems linked to oleic acid when it comes to the skin, especially in terms of acne. Yes, it turns out that when we're deficient in the omega-3s and the omega-6s more importantly, when we're deficient in the omega-6s, our body will attempt to use omega-9s instead of omega-6s. And as we'll talk about here in a bit, omega-6s have 2 double bonds. Omega-6s are more energetic than the monounsaturated fats. So while the body will attempt to use oleic acid when you're deficient in omega-6s, it's not the same thing. And you'll end up with less liquidy cells. Cells have to be liquidy. They have to be kind of flowing. And even more importantly, when it comes to acne, you'll end up with sticky sebum. Sebum, which is skin oil, and as most people who break out know, is linked to pimple formation, zit formation, or even oily skin. One of the reasons why pimples will form is because omega-9s are being substituted because we're deficient in the EFAs. This is why you want to use EFAs if you're breaking out. This is why you want to use EFAs if you have oily skin. All right, I'll finish this up when we come back from our break, and then we'll take your calls. 844-236-6010 is our number. On the bright side, I'm Pharmacist Ben. We'll be back right after this. I want to finish up real quickly here. So much to talk about with the omega fatty acids. Omega-9s are not essential. Take-home message, are not essential, but they are important. And they're also problematic, because the body will attempt to use omega-9s if it doesn't have enough omega-6s. It'll make cells with omega-9s if it doesn't have enough omega-6s. And because the omega-9s are so much more liquidy, they got more energy. I didn't tell you that part. The more energy a fat has, the more liquidy it's going to be. So these liquid fats have lots of energy. Omega-9s, because they only have one double bond, one scoop, or one double bond, I should say, they don't have as much energy as the omega-6s, which have 2 double bonds, and consequently, they're stiffer, and the products the body makes with them will be stiffer, including sebum, including skin oil. And this is one of the reasons why people break out, is because their sebum is sticky, because it's got omega-9 in it, not omega-6. So use your ultimate EFAs if you're producing lots of skin oil. Use your your ultimate essential fatty acids, or your ultimate EFA plus, which are sources of omega-6s, if you find that you're breaking out. A lot of times people won't want to take their omegas or their essential fatty acids because they're afraid that they're too oily. Well, it's not that they're too oily because they're producing too much oil. They're too oily because they're producing the wrong kind of oil. So for people who are breaking out ultimate EFAs, whether your skin's oily or not, you still need the ultimate EFAs. You'll make thinner, more liquidy sebum, and it won't clog pores as much. Not that there's other things you need too, of course. It's not like a cure, but you'll have healthier sebum and healthier cells all over your body. There's actually, there was a movie that came out about something called Lorenzo's Oil. You may have heard. It came out about 20 years ago, a movie about this thing, Lorenzo's Oil, which is just basically omega-9 fatty acid with a little of another kind of omega acid called erucic acid, which is found in canola or rapeseed oil. And they actually use it for a strange type of disease, a demyelinating disease, where the myelin just comes off of your nerve cells. And it actually worked pretty well. And there's some interesting reasons for that. I'm not going to get into that. But Lorenzo's Oil actually took advantage of the omega-9 oleic acid fat that's found in vegetable oils. All right, tomorrow we'll talk more about the omegas, omega-6s, and omega-3s. Talk about diabetes and your essential fatty acids. You know there's a relationship between blood sugar control and essential fatty acids. You guys, these things are fabulously, unbelievably important. Do you know essential fatty acids are like statin drugs? They'll actually lower your cholesterol like a statin drug. Now, what would you rather have? A toxic, poison statin drug that you got to wait in line at the pharmacy and you got to go to the doctor for? And you got to fill out all kinds of insurance forms and everything else that you do at the doctor's office? Or essential fatty acids, which act like statin drugs and give you all the benefits of essential fatty acids. Okay, that's why we're here. That's why we're here, telling the story about nutrition versus drugs. Telling the story about the power of nutrition as opposed to the toxic, although powerful nature of prescription drugs. 844-236-6010 is our number. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Let's go to Wisconsin. Good morning, Lisa. How you doing? Lisa?
Hello?
Hey, Lisa. How's it going? Good morning. Lisa?
Hello?
Hello. You there?
Yes.
You can't hear me.
Ben?
Yes, we hear you, Lisa. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. What's cooking? What's going on in Wisconsin?
Well, it's balmy today.
Is it balmy? I heard Wisconsin, you got brutal winters out there.
Well, we do. We get awful winters, but we just happen to be on the right side of the wind today, and it's balmy.
Oh, good for you.
Look forward to those days.
Good deal. So what's going on? How can we help you?
Well, I was listening last week, and I wanted to give you a call. I have a condition called lichen sclerosus.
Yes, ma'am. I know all about it.
So I'm probably calling for about a third of the women in the country who don't even want to talk about it anymore.
Is it? Go ahead.
I really wanted your insight. You seem to be a skin specialist. I've been dealing with this for, 20 years.
Well, I've been...
is there any way to get rid of this?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. What did they give? Did they give you steroids for it? Is that what they're...
They did years ago, and by the way, I'll tell you, I was never positively tested. They didn't do a biopsy. Thank God.
Okay.
It was at that point, it was so bad they didn't feel like they had to.
Okay.
And they put me on steroids, and I did that for several years, when there was a breakout. And then I actually worked with somebody who was more holistic, and I was doing garlic douching, which actually seemed to work, but it comes and it goes.
Okay.
And I don't understand what's tripping it.
I'm going to tell you exactly what's doing it, okay? First of all, you know that, as you pointed out, it's really a woman's issue more than it is a male issue. And whenever that occurs, you always want to think about estrogen. That's the primary, from a biochemical perspective, that's the primary distinction between men and women is estrogen.
Right.
I'm being very general here, but usually when you have a health issue that affects mostly women, that's what you want to think about. And I'll tell you how that works here in a second. But just to add to that, Alzheimer's disease is a woman's disease primarily, or most, not primarily, but a lot more women have it than men. And also autoimmune diseases are much more likely to occur in females in women than in men, which tells you something right there. There's an estrogen component to all of these health issues that nobody's really talking about. The fact of the matter is, while we always hear about estrogen as being a female hormone and as being important for anti-aging, that's more marketing than anything else. That's all from drug companies wanting to push estrogen products on it. And by the way, while I'm on the subject here, there's no such thing as bioidentical hormones. Let's dispel with that myth. No, you can't be bioidentical with any of your hormones. I'm not saying bad or good, yay or nay, but I'm just telling you they're not bioidentical. That's more marketing. when you start playing with hormones, you don't know what you're doing because everything is controlled by hormones. So anyway, you're looking at an estrogen issue. Whenever you have an estrogen issue, it's not so much estrogen itself, but the breakdown products of estrogen. Those are a special type of estrogen they call catechol estrogens. I'm not going to get into that, but just think of it as a derivative of estrogen. Estrogen has to be cleared out of the body quickly because it's very powerful stuff. When I was making compounding products in the pharmacy with estrogen, I hated doing it because you had to be accurate to the microgram. You had to use these really powerful scales, and you couldn't be even micrograms off, or else you could cause problems because estrogen is so powerful. So when estrogen goes up in the body has to detoxify it and has to clear it out quickly. However, the detoxification of estrogen and the clearing out of estrogen depend on the digestive system. The clearing out of estrogen and the detoxification of estrogen depend on probiotics as well as bile. It comes out in the bile, which is a product of the liver, and also the gallbladder is connected to that, as well as probiotics in the intestine. So, my dear, I'm guaranteeing you 100% that you got a digestive condition going on. All right?
Yeah.
Do you know this? Does this sound familiar?
It's a suspicion, that's for sure.
Okay.
I mean, I've done everything else. I can't.
That's where you want to be focusing. You want to be focusing on estrogen via the intestines and bile and liver. Now, it could also involve, when I say the liver, that's a digestive organ, but it does lots of other things too. Mm-hmm. So it could involve the liver, it could involve the intestine, or it could involve bile, or even the gallbladder. So what you want to do is start working with your fat metabolism. This all involves fats. Estrogen is a fat, and it's cleared as other fats are. So I got a few more things to tell you, but for right now, you want to use the Biolumin Nightly Essence, 3 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, 3 at night. Probably your Ultimate EFAs as well. Well, finish up when we come back from our break, so hang on. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back right after this. Okay, we're back on The Bright Side talking to Lisa in Wisconsin about lichen sclerosus, which is a skin condition. Basically, it affects the genitals and women mostly, and that always reminds me of estrogen, and it should remind everybody of estrogen whenever a health challenge affects mostly women. Estrogen is an inflammatory hormone when it's not processed correctly. It can also spike the immune system when it's not processed correctly. In fact, a lot of folks, Lisa, are you there, ma'am?
Yes, I'm here.
A lot of folks think of it as an these days anyway. I don't want to say a lot, but some researchers believe it's an autoimmune disease or part of an autoimmune function. In any case, the immune system is definitely involved and the inflammatory system is definitely involved. The fact that it affects women tells me you want to start working with estrogen. And also, by the way, iodine. Iodine, if you're not using it, can be very helpful for all estrogenic issues, fibrocystic breasts and endometriosis and other female issues. So I'd be supplementing with iodine in addition to the essential fatty acids, the Ultimate EFAs, and in addition to all the digestive support you can think of. See if you can notice when your lichen sclerosus symptoms flare up. That's a major clue there for you. Do you notice flare-ups ever?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's
perfect.
Driving me insane.
No, the flare-ups are your best friend because the flare-ups are pointers to what you did in the last couple of usually 12 hours or so. You see what I'm saying? If you can pinpoint the flare-up to what you were doing within the last 12 hours, that's going to be major information for you, and it will usually involve a food. In fact, it'll almost always involve a food. Now, certain things like stresses can make a difference, of course, but for the most part, the largest component of flare-ups is going to involve foods. So see what you do, a food diary. That's great. See if you can link up flare-ups to digestive symptomology. Constipation, for example, often goes hand in hand with lichen sclerosus. That's because the thyroid is often involved. And there's another relationship between the thyroid and estrogen, but I don't want to get too off on a tangent. But most people who have lichen sclerosus and skin issues are going to find that there's hypothyroidism. The whole triangle is going to be involved, which is the thyroid, the blood sugar system, and the digestive system. So those are where you're going to want to be working. Get on the Nightly Essence, do the Healthy Start Pack, throw in a little bit of extra iodine, and make sure that you're getting extra zinc. 50 milligrams a day of zinc, extremely important for all skin health issues, for all estrogen health issues, for pretty much all issues, and of course for the immune system. I'd also be using the Ultimate Selenium as well. You might want to try the Fuchs Z2, and then Let's see if there's any. Fat helping your body process fats using the ultimate enzymes with all of your meals, bile salts with all of your meals, lecithin granules with your meals, and then apple cider vinegar to activate the enzymes. Of course, that's always going to be helpful, and that'll also be helpful for the digestive tract. The last thing, super important for the digestive system, are the fibers and the nitrates that you get from vegetables. So veggie juices can also be very helpful for you. All right. One more thing. I know I keep adding these things here. Flax seeds and other fiber can also be helpful. Flax seeds in particular because they're a good source of anti-estrogen or estrogen-blocking components, natural estrogen-blocking components. So that might help you too, grinding up some flax seeds. And that'll also help you if you're constipated too, grinding them up and doing a couple of teaspoons or 3 teaspoons in a glass of water and drinking it down once a day. All right, Lisa? You notice I didn't say anything about rubbing something on your skin, by the way, because it's not, right? Isn't that what everybody will tell you, to rub something on your skin? This is the great myth about skincare, is that all you do is rub something on the skin. It doesn't work that way, with the exception of some vitamins. Most skincare products are just making money for skincare companies. All right. Anything else?
Thank you.
Okay, good. Thanks. Have a good day. Hope we helped you out. All right, Jessica in Texas. Good morning. What's up?
Hello, Ben.
Hey.
I have a question. I have a friend that is 64, and he has 2 things I want to ask you about. He has like a big white pimple right in the tear duct.
A sty.
Huh?
A sty.
Oh, okay, but it stays there. He's had it for a year or so.
That's got to be miserable. Oh my God.
Yeah,
that's got to be miserable.
It's blocking the tears.
Yes. Oh my God. I'm feeling it now as you're saying that. It's got to be awful.
He feels it like it's growing.
Oh, that's an awful thing. Okay, here's the deal.
Yeah.
Well, you got to zoom in with your X-ray, with your Superman vision, and look at what's happening in the cyst or the sty, or the pimple, as you call it. So we got to zoom in. What's happening is cells are not dividing correctly, and that usually means there's something wrong with the outside part of the cell. And this is true about all cysts and pimples and funny growths. The outside part of a cell is not doing its business. You know how cells divide and how they grow? That's very complicated stuff. And because we don't zoom in with our Superman vision to see what's happening in our imagination anyway, at the tiniest of levels, we don't know what to do. Even your doctor doesn't know what to do. Well, I'm telling you what to do. You want to focus on the outside part of the cell, and that means fats. Your ultimate EFAs. Probably you got a fat deficiency going on. Also, fatty vitamins. Fats and fatty vitamins. Those are your 2 main things. And the hormone estrogen sometimes is involved in the hormone insulin. So guess what? We got our triangle of disease. You work on the digestive system to help the body process fats. Okay, Jessica? Yeah. So have him, ask him, or have him look into his digestive issues, food diary, see what foods cause problems, and eliminate those foods. Now, he may think, well, what the heck is what I eat, what I'm eating have to do with a pimple in my eye? It has everything to do with it, because the fats that are coming in or not coming in through the diet are affecting the cells, and the cells aren't dividing correctly depending on what kind of fat, or are dividing or not dividing correctly depending on the fats. Ultimate EFAs, digestive enzymes, the biolumin nightly essence, all the things we just talked about with our last caller for fat metabolism and for fats. That's the first thing, and that alone may make all the difference in the world. Okay, the ultimate EFAs I'm talking about, and the biolumin nightly essence, the good bacteria, as well as the digestive enzymes. Then there's the fatty vitamins, which are also important. I'd be using 20,000 IU of vitamin A a day. I would be using 400 international units of vitamin E a day, and then maybe some fish oil to get his vitamin D, and also the sun is another good way to get vitamin D. All of this again is dependent on digestion, though, so you got to make sure he's using all the digestive support. A couple other things that are important for how keeping cells dividing correctly are the mineral zinc, 50 milligrams a day, and then also he may want to try using a little progesterone cream. If he's 64 years old, that wouldn't hurt him anyway. You get other benefits from that, but that might balance out any estrogen problems that he's having, if he indeed is having estrogen problems. And it's not uncommon that as men get older, they produce a lot of estrogen, or more estrogen. So using progesterone cream might be helpful as well. It most certainly is not as topical. I can tell you that for sure. It is internal, and that usually means, for the most part, it's going to be something nutritional, and that means something he's getting through food, or something he's not getting. So try all those strategies, and hopefully that works. Let me know what happens. You can give us a call back. He should know notice results pretty darn quickly. At the very least, he's going to notice he feels better. But he should notice results in the sty pretty quickly within a couple of weeks or 3 weeks of starting a program like I just described.
Okay, he started taking the Udo's blend.
That's a very good idea. Who told him to do that?
Maybe 2 weeks or so. I don't know.
No, that's great. That's great. Is he noticing anything, or do you know?
No, I don't know.
No, not noticing anything. So make sure that he's using all the digestive support because he may not be processing his fats. He should have noticed something.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, and the other thing, he says he has like tingling in the hands.
Okay, yeah, that's a sign of diabetes and pre-diabetes. The guy's breaking down. It's basically what's happening. So have you heard me talk about the triangle of disease? He's a classic case for that. Digestion, blood sugar, thyroid. Adrenal thyroid complex. And those are the 3 areas you need to work always, and he's a classic case. So you want to start throwing in some diabetes support in there too. Blood sugar control could help him. Chromium, vanadium, and the sweeties, keeping his sugar intake down.
Yeah.
All of the things that we talk about, the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Don't underestimate the power of the BTT for sugar issues, blood sugar issues. Also, selenium is also important for blood sugar control, and the mineral sulfur is also important. Sulfur is part of the insulin molecule. Without enough sulfur, you can't make enough insulin. So using MSM sulfur might be helpful too.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Thanks, Jessica. Have a great day. I'd like to hear how he does too, if you can call us back maybe in a couple weeks.
Okay.
Okay, good. Take care. All right, let's go to Helen in Canada. Oh, let's go to Helen in Canada. Sorry, Truth Radio will try to get to you here in a sec. Helen, what's going on?
Well, actually, I have been diagnosed with atrial fibrillation and so was put on a warfarin.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I actually would prefer not to.
I'm sure.
I'm just wondering whether there is something that I can do in the natural route.
Yes, a lot you can do. AFib is your heart freaking out. You know what a fibrillation is? Do you know what that mean?
Yes, I do.
Just
I
think
have a nursing background, so I do.
Oh, perfect. It's like Jell-O. You know, you poke Jell-O and it kind of that's what happens when you fibrillate. Your heart's supposed to, I'm not saying this to you, Helen, I'm telling the listeners. Fibrillation, your heart is supposed to beat in a rhythm, a powerful rhythm, and that takes a lot of work for that to happen. When it doesn't occur correctly, it fibrillates, and that throws the rhythm off, the blood doesn't move appropriately, and they put you on warfarin. Not a good drug, a very bad drug. Here's the, Helen, you're going to have to call me back tomorrow because we got to go fast. You got to calm your body down. It's a sign of a hyped up sympathetic nervous system, a hyped up stress nervous system, and there's lots of ways to calm the body down, but most importantly, keeping your sugar down and oxygenation, making sure you're deep breathing. Fibrillation can be induced by hypoxia, low blood oxygen, so practicing deep breathing. Nutrients of choice are going to be your EFAs and the B vitamins, probably vitamin C also. I hate picking on just certain nutrients, but those are important, as well as magnesium. Helen, I'm just out of time. If you shoot me an email, ben@ksco.com with your phone number, I'll give you a call back, or you can call us back tomorrow and we get your question on the air. That's all the time we have for today. Thanks for listening, friends. Have a beautiful, spectacular, awesome day. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Bye for now.
Pharmacist Ben Fuchs believes virtually all disease states can be backtracked to digestive problems.
Deficiencies in stomach acid can affect all downstream systems. Taking digestive enzymes can be amazingly helpful for dealing with deficiencies in stomach acid. Enzymes require low pH for activation. You can also use aloe vera juice, by the way. Sugars in aloe vera have a coating effect on the digestive system. Longevity has a cool product called Noni Plus, which is made from aloe and the noni fruit. It's tasty. It can also function to support digestive acidification of the stomach, and activation of digestive enzymes.
Take Pharmacist Ben's advice and support your digestive system by ordering Noni Plus from Longevity. Call 866-735-2470. That's 866-735-2470, or on the web at brightsideben.com. That's brightsideben.com. Order today.
Hi, I'm Dr. Joel Wallach, the Dead Doctors Don't Lie guy, formerly Air Force Lieutenant Colonel, Air National Guard and Reservist. I'm looking for veterans, active duty military personnel to join the 90 for Life crusade to save America. She needs your skills, courage, and loyalty more than ever. Contact GCNteam.com. Because of the financial and healthcare collapse, veterans are currently struggling finding jobs. Frustrated looking for a job? Change your tactics. Join the 90 for Life crusade to save America. Start a healthcare business with FDI Longevity 90 for Life crusade. Contact GCNteam.com MilitarySpeedCom immediately. We're looking for military specialists who can use a computer, can communicate information, and execute a battle plan. Join the Admirals, Navy SEALs, Marines, pilots, Army officers, military police, sheriffs, police officers, firemen, and first responders already enrolled in the 90 for Life Crusade. Contact GCNteam.com now. FDI Longevity will help you apply your military skills to the task of saving America through health and financial programs. Contact GCNteam.com. Enlist in GCNteam.com and save America.
Today, more than ever, it's imperative that you protect your digital privacy. EDEC Digital Forensics, Signal Blocking, Anti-Radiation, Anti-Surveillance Faraday Bags shield the contents of your phones, tablets, and key fobs from 4G, Wi-Fi, GPS, Bluetooth, NFC, and more. Find us at edecdf.com/radio or call us now at 805-222-4584. That's 805-222-4584. Radio listeners get 20% off your order.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $7.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Removing bad taste and odor from your drinking water is easy. Removing the bad stuff you don't taste is what ProPure does best. Water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure countertop, inline, gravity, and household water filtration products. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com or call 800-544-3533.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com. Or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Sciatica, lower back pain, hip pain, poor posture. If you suffer from any of these problems, get ready to relax. Introducing an amazing product that's been in the market for over 25 years, the Sacro Wedgie. It was invented by a football coach using a common sense osteopath technique. He created this device to help his athletes by isolating and supporting the sacrum, which is the keystone of our anatomy. This wedge-shaped bone is in the center of our hips, where a lot of pain starts. Simply relax 20 minutes daily on the amazingly simple Sacro Wedgie and let gravity do the work, helping muscles rebalance and start releasing nerves. Sit in the Sacro Wedgie at the computer or while traveling to help correct posture to finally help relieve those stubborn aches and pains for only $33.95. It's made in the USA, so click the family-owned website at sacrowedgie.com, spelled SACROWEDGY.com, or call 1-800-737-9295. That's 1-800-737-9295. Relax your back pain away with the Sacro Wedgie.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
We use mobile devices right against our bodies every day, but growing scientific evidence has emerged showing serious health risks associated with exposure to EMF radiation emitted from these devices. The solution is Defender Shield, the most effective mobile radiation shielding ever developed. Defender Shield blocks virtually 100% of EMF radiation from cell phones, tablets, and laptops, and starts at just $64.99. Buy now at DefenderShield.com. For 10% off, use promo code GCN. DefenderShield.com, the worldwide leader in mobile radiation shielding.
Attention citizens. This man has received national attention for accurately predicting every major financial trend, including the market crash of 2008. His name is Harry Dent. And in his newly released book, he is making even bigger and bolder predictions that have the potential to devastate the world economy and your personal wealth. You can get a free copy of Harry Dent's bestseller, The Demographic Cliff, containing never-before-published information by simply visiting www.harrydentresearch.com. Again, that's www.harrydentresearch.com.
Hi, my name is Nick Lupo. One World Whey has been by far the best protein that I've ever had. I take it 3 times a day. Once in the morning as soon as I wake, once for a pre-workout snack, and once for a post-workout recovery drink. It has helped me transform and sculpt my body into what I have now. I began taking the product about 2 years ago, and boy, let me tell you, I'm in the best shape of my life. I've seen major muscle mass gains and have 0% body fat. I have had people at my gym ask if I compete in bodybuilding because of how lean and muscular I am. I used to suffer from everyday aches and pains from hard manual labor my whole life and arthritis that runs through my family. But One World Whey has helped me take that everyday pain from a 10 to a 3. Some days I feel no pain at all, just full of life and energy. It has also helped my skin look younger and healthier. Thank you, Synergistic Nutrition, for One World Whey.
Call 888-988-3325 or visit oneworldwhey.com. That's oneworldwhey.com.
Attention citizens. This man has received national attention for accurately predicting every major financial trend, including the market crash of 2008. His name is Harry Dent. And in his newly released book, he is making even bigger and bolder predictions that have the potential to devastate the world economy and your personal wealth. You can get a free copy of Harry Dent's bestseller, The Demographic Cliff, containing never-before-published information by simply visiting www.harrydentresearch.com. Again, that's www.harrydentresearch.com.
Are you tired of the cold this winter? Are you prepared for the next blizzard or snowstorm? What will you do when the power and heat go off? That could be our future. Fortress Clothing's Bug Out Bag with our head-to-toe solution is your one-step answer to survival in the cold. It doesn't expire, it doesn't go bad, it's lightweight and mobile, and it doesn't just sit on the shelf waiting for an emergency. You can use Fortress today. Be warm and comfortable if you or your family work in the cold. Be warm and comfortable while you play, hunt, fish, camp, ski, paraglide, go sledding with the family, or just shovel the walks. You will never be cold again. FortressClothing.com is the answer. Your emergency preparedness solution to the cold. Your solution to working or playing in the cold. Visit us at FortressClothing.com and enter RADIO. Buy now and receive your 20% off discount. You will never be cold again. FortressClothing.com. It could save your life one day.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't pick on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.